Hey everybody, it's Rob, and I'm coming to you on a chilly February evening, February 1st, I think it is. I think we rolled over. I don't know, it might still be January. But I just wanted to come to you and talk a little bit about something that I thought of the other day that I have been meaning to do for a long time. I love books. I've got stacks and stacks and stacks and shelves full of books. Happy Hair and I both love them. We passed that love along to our kids. Our kids all loved reading. That's a new thing I'm having to learn to talk about. Past tense, I guess. But in the world of books, in the world of prepping and surviving and doing all the stuff that we do, a long time ago, the very first book I bought, there's 3 books I want to show you here tonight. 3 of my favorite, best. If you don't have any other books, these 3 are probably the ones to have as far as nonfiction, factual, good information books that you can have. I got this first one, wow, from Paladin Press. If any of y'all remember that place out of Boulder, Colorado, living here in Texas, mail order back then only. I mean, you had to make a phone call or write them a letter to get a catalog, and then you had to figure out what you wanted. It was a whole different deal for those of you that don't remember. In about 1981 or 2, I don't remember what year it was for sure, but the very first book I got in this subject, unless it was one of Ragnar Benson's books, but the first one that really sank in was this one right here, get my hand out of the way, Life After Doomsday. And I hope that this is coming out right, because looking in the screen of my phone here, which is a new thing that I'm using, looking in the screen of my phone, all the words are backwards. I hope it comes out right. If it doesn't, trust me, it says Life After Doomsday by Bruce Clayton, PhD. I like that he puts PhD and not Dr. Bruce Clayton. Just me, I guess. This book is full of lots and lots of really good stuff. He modeled this book after another book that I've got here we'll talk about in a minute called Nuclear War Survival Skills by Crescent Kearney. But this guy goes into, he makes a lot of simple, really good, easy stuff. Stuff that's kind of hard but makes it easy to understand. He talks about the whole idea of surviving nuclear war. And I don't think we're going to have a nuclear war, but it's one of those things like if you can survive nuclear war, if you're prepared for that, if you're prepared for a scenario like another really good book to have called 1 Second After, which is a fictional book but has a lot of good preparedness and thinking of these things, ideas in it. If you're prepared for either of those, you're pretty much going to be okay for just about whatever comes along. So this book right here, this was the first one I got. It opened my eyes. It got me to thinking. It made me realize that, hey, even if there is all this nuclear fallout and everything else, it's survivable. That doesn't mean the end of the world as we know it. It doesn't mean everybody dies, everything dies. Not at all. The odds are really, really good of being able to survive something like that. There are disasters which are possible, likely, things that our sun might do, which would be a whole lot less survivable than this. But this is one. So anyway, this is one book right here. Another book that I just mentioned that you should have. And if you want to know something funny, I've known about this book ever since I've known about that book. But I didn't have this until Happy Hair got it for me last year, I guess, maybe about this time last year. She found a copy somewhere, ordered it for me, and now I've got it. And I'd looked at it, I'd seen the PDFs, and I'd seen copies of it in different places, but I never had my own. So now I've got my own. Isn't that grand? This one is Nuclear War Survival Skills by Crescent Kearney. This is like the grandfather of all this type of book right here. This was the one, and this thing here, I mean, it is chock full of information, including some really good stuff in the back, some appendices, with plans, actual scaled plans for making such things as radiation fallout meters, so that you can measure how much is going on. And it's all real simple materials and all like that. I haven't built one for a number of reasons. But anyway, this is another great book to have. Another book I came across within the last few years, I'm wiping the dust off. I'm here at my very messy workbench. This bench looks bad. About an hour ago, it looked worse, if you can believe that. So, sorry about the mess, but I figure I can either clean off a workbench or I can just sit down and do a quick video, which is what I'm doing. Let me see, are we doing a quick video or are we doing one of my excessively long videos? I think we're doing a quick one. This book right here is the LDS Preparedness Manual. Now, a lot of y'all probably know this one because other people have talked about it. Get it where you can see it maybe there. Read it backwards. I hope it doesn't come out backwards. Anyway, this is LDS. If you don't know what that means for it, LDS is the Mormons. It stands for Latter-day Saints. And the Mormons are big into preparedness and all that kind of thing. They're big time into it. It's almost like a part of their religion. It's not really, I know, but it kind of sort of is, being prepared. They believe that everybody needs to be ready for something like that so they can take care of their families. And that's a good thing, especially in a day when so many people are expecting the government to take care of their families. Hint, spoiler, that's not likely to happen. So, being able to prepare for your family is a good thing. The LDS manual, I don't know where to tell you to get it. I know where I got it. If I can remember where I got this, I actually bought several of them because there's a guy up in Montana, maybe, or Idaho. That's bad. See, I didn't prepare for this, and I just jumped in and did it. Here we go, right there. Here we go. I don't even have to put a link. I probably still will. See if I can get there. LDSavow.com. Is that right? LDSavow.com. I can't remember the guy's name. I corresponded with him some, but he used to basically sell these books just for the cost of the shipping, which is a pretty good deal. It was a pretty cool thing. There's a follow-up book to this that I don't have. I don't think I have it. We're going to say I don't have it just for that. But this book, I mean, it's like these other ones. It is chock full of different information, lists, and things to think about, and just lots of good food facts that neither of those go into quite the same way. The lifespan of food, the shelf life, different things. I think it's a lot of really cool stuff. But basically, if you don't have these books, you ought to. If you've been doing the whole preparedness, and back in the 80s it was called survivalist. That's what I used to know it as. But, you know, times change, words change. There was another word in the middle there somewhere between survivalism and preparedness. I don't remember what it was. I didn't care. I've done this kind of stuff pretty much all my life. When I was a little kid, my parents and grandparents did this kind of thing, but they didn't call it that. It was just called putting up enough food to get you through the winter so you didn't have to go to the grocery store every time you got hungry. That's the way it was. You should have these books. If you don't have these, you really should. You know, I'm not going to say how much any of them cost, but it's money well spent. You know, it's good to have books in paper, hard version, rather than electronic media. I have found out recently that electronic media goes bad, which means I'm hoping I get a bunch of pictures and videos back that I'm going to be really, really sad if I don't get back. I think I'm going to get most of them. I should have gone to the guy, the computer doctor today, but I didn't. Anyway, so that's the end of it. If you don't have these books, you ought to get them. These are really, really, really good books. Each of them has some different information, and each of them is solid gold in the world of preparedness. I'm going to talk to you later about other books, but for right now, there's those. Thanks, y'all.